Okay, so in the last session, we started with collections. Okay,
Collection.
so what is a collection basically? What is a collection? What is a collection?
Group of interfaces and objects.
That is collection framework. Okay, collection means group of objects basically. Okay,
Group of objects.
group of something is nothing but a collection. What is a collection framework? Collection framework is nothing but a collection of interfaces and they're
And
implemented.
classes.
Yeah, and the classes implemented from those interfaces. Okay, so what is the main interface in a collection?
Iterable.
Yeah, what is the next interface? Mm, Next interface in collection?
Collection.
Collection, yeah.
Collection.
So what are the interfaces that are developed from collection interface?
List set queue.
Yeah, list, set, and queue. What is the other
Queue.
interface that is there in collection framework, but not implemented to, but not extended to
Map.
collection framework? Yeah, map.
Map.
Okay, so what is a list? What is a list?
Uh,
An ordered and indexed collection.
Yeah, list is an ordered indexed collection. What is a set?
It doesn't allow duplicates, can be
Yeah,
ordered or unordered depending on the class.
yeah, depending on the class. And what is a queue? How does a queue work basically?
before.
Yeah, FIFO
First in,
basis.
first out.
Yeah,
Before, yeah,
yeah. And what is a map? How does map work?
It uh, it
Map.
provides
provides
as
data
to
structure.
become the key value pair.
Yeah, map is a collection which basically works on key value pair
Key
concept.
value pair.
Okay, okay. So okay, now the question can be like, what is the difference between a list and set? Okay, you can say that list is an ordered collection and set is an, list is a collection which allows duplicates and set is a collection which doesn't allow duplicates. List is always an ordered collection. Okay,
Yes.
set, okay, set can be ordered or unordered. It depends on the class that is implemented. For example, hash set is unordered. Linked hash set is ordered. Okay. Okay. What are some of the classes that are implemented from list interface?
Array list, link list, vector,
Yeah.
and
And some of the examples for
stack.
sets. Yeah. Some of the examples for sets, classes for sets.
Hashed and linked
Hash
hash.
set, linked
Yeah.
hash set.
Linked hash set.
Reset.
Sorry, tree
Yeah.
set.
Tree set. Okay. And what are some of the examples for map?
Hash map linked.
Hash map,
Linked hash
linked.
map. And we also have tree map. So this tree set and tree map, they are natural sorting order maps. Sets are maps. Okay. Okay. So this is what I have explained everything here. And so the differences between list, set, queue, and map, I have explained them here. Okay. So we have an array list and linked list, right? So array list and linked list, basically they are lists which allow duplicates and they are ordered collections. But the difference is array list internally uses dynamic array to store the elements. Linked list internally uses doubly linked lists. Okay, to store the element. Basically, the algorithm behind these two are different. That's all. Okay, array list internally uses dynamic array to store the elements. Linked list internally uses doubly linked list. Okay, so in which case we use array list, in which case we use linked list. Okay, if suppose if any array list is better for storing and accessing data, if there are no manipulations within a list, okay, then we can go for array list because array list is better for storing and accessing data. Manipulation with array list is slow because it internally uses array. if an element is removed from the array and all the bits are shifted in the memory. So if there is something like, we have to remove an element, or we have to change the order of the element, something like that, then array list will be slow. In those cases, we go for linked list. Manipulation with linked list is faster than array list because it uses a doubly linked list, and no bit shifting is required in memory. Okay, so if it is like only storing and accessing data, we go for array list. If we are manipulating the data, then it's better to use linked list. That is the only difference. Okay, basically the algorithm behind these two are different, which is array list is internally uses dynamic array to store the elements. Linked list internally uses doubly linked list to store the elements, and array list is better if we have only like storing and accessing data. If we have any manipulations to the data, linked list is better. Okay, that's the only difference. Okay, and hash set and linked hash set and tree set, basically these are all sets which doesn't allow duplicates. But hash set won't maintain order, linked hash set maintains order, and tree set, it is natural sorting order. Okay, these three. Hash map, linked hash map, and tree map. Hash map won't maintain order. Linked hash map maintains order of insertion. Tree map, natural sorting order. Okay, these are the differences. Okay, now let us see an example starting with uh, yeah, let us see an example starting with array list. Okay. Okay, fine. So, array list is a data structure that can be structured to accommodate elements within itself and shrink back to smaller size when the elements are removed. In other words, it is a dynamic array. It's kind of a dynamic array. Okay, let me show you an example. So let me create a new package here. New package. I'm saying like lists. Okay, let me create a new class under this, which is array list example. Okay, I'm just using this main method. Okay, we can create an array list using like this array list. Okay, let's say list1 equals to new array list. Okay, this is how we can create an array list. Okay, we are just creating an object for that one. Okay, and we have to import that array list from java.util package. Okay, we have imported that array list. Now to add elements to this array list, we use list1. Okay, dot add. Okay, and see, we have to add an object here. Okay, we have to add an object. Okay, let us say we are adding something like some names here. Let's say Rajesh. Okay, list1 dot add something like Ganesh. Okay, list1 dot add Suresh. Okay, so we have added like 3 elements to it. Okay, and if you see, we haven't defined any size for this array list, but arrays, okay, we have a size limit. Okay, so since we don't have any size limit here, we can add as many number of elements as we want. Okay, now if we want, we can directly print this list. For example, list1. Okay, I'm directly printing this list. Okay, run as Java application. Okay, so Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. So when we directly print a list, it generally printed in square brackets. Okay, list one dot add. Now we have added like all these elements to it, and let us see like the different methods we have. So okay, so first we have added like all these elements. Okay, and if we want to get the elements like individually, we can use get method. Okay, we have printed it here like the entire array list. If we want to get it like each and every individual element, we can use get method, and if you see, we have to pass index here. So I can pass like 0. Okay, so like this I can get the individual elements. Okay, so I have to print this one. I'm getting it, but I'm not printing this one. So system.out.println. Okay, so if I print this one, okay, so I'm printing the element at the 0th index. Again, it goes by index. Okay, so this is 0, this is 1, so this is 2. Okay, we can use get method. Okay, let us see the other methods. Okay, so if I want to remove okay, we have if we want to find like how many elements are there, we can use size method. Okay, so let us say system.out.println, okay, number of elements in the array list are, okay, plus I can use size method here. So list one dot size. Okay, so if I run this one now, okay, number of elements in the array list are 3. Okay, we have number of. Now let us say we have okay, so we are getting like an individual elements, and if we want to remove an element from this, we have something called remove method. Okay, so let me remove like one of the list one dot remove. Okay, and we have to provide index here. So let us say I would like to remove the second element and the index is 1. So remove 1. Okay, once I removed this one, I would like to know the size of this one. So originally it is 3, but now I have to get 2. Okay, if I run this one, okay, so if you see, originally the number of elements in this array list are 3, but after that we have removed the second element from that list. So the size of this array list became 2. Now if we print this array list, okay, if we print this array list, okay, it is showing Rajesh and Suresh because we have removed the second element from here. Okay, okay, now let us see the other methods that we have. So we have seen what are these, all these size we have seen, and also we have seen remove method, and we have seen the size method. Okay, so let us say I want to check like if that array list contains one of these elements. Okay, then I can use contains method. Okay, so let us use this one, system.out.println array list contains Suresh. We're checking like this array list is containing like Suresh or not. Okay, so then I can use contains and then Suresh. Okay, if I run this one, okay, it returns true because it is containing Suresh. For example, we have removed the second element, right? Ganesh. Let's check like if Ganesh is there. Okay, Ganesh. Okay, false because we have removed that element already from here. Okay, so this is called a list, and these are like some of the different methods that we have. We'll see like more methods, but these are some of the methods that we have on a list. Okay, and this is basically array list. Okay, and the same thing like we can also use a linked list here. Okay, for example, if you see here the first element like I am introducing. Okay, the first element I am putting it is Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. Okay, Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. Okay, it is maintaining the order here. It is maintaining the order. If you see, the first element that we have put in this one is Rajesh, and the next element is Ganesh, and the next element is Suresh. Okay. And what is the other thing that we have learned about this one? Let's accept duplicate elements. Okay. So for example, if I add again the element Rajesh here. Okay. And if I run this one, run as Java application, and you can see that Rajesh, and the fourth element is again Rajesh, which is the duplicate element. So lists allow duplicate elements. That is one more difference that we have discussed, right? So lists allow duplicate elements. Okay. Now these two things we have seen, and the next thing that we have discussed previously is okay. So yeah, we have seen all these things that we have discussed in this one. Okay, so these are some of the methods. Okay, now okay, we have this one, right? And this array list is called a raw array list, because it can accept any type of elements into this. It can accept a string, it can accept any other type of objects like integers, floats, everything. For example, if I say here list one dot add of 3. Okay. Uh, Yeah. Okay. So it is a string, but it is an integer type, right? So if I run this one, it accepts this one. Okay. See, Rajesh, Ganesh, Suresh, Rajesh, and 3. Okay. Which is up to him. But in arrays, they should be of same data type, if you remember. Okay. But array list collection framework, they can accept different kinds of elements. So here till here we have added strings only, but here we have added an integer, and it is accepting that one. Okay, that is why this is called a raw array list. This is called a raw array list. For example, okay, I have created another array list. Okay, now let us say I don't want to accept okay, an integer. I want to accept only strings. That means I want to accept only one data type into this one. I don't want to accept multiple data types. In that case, I can restrict this array list to accept only one kind of objects, and they are called okay. It is and it is in those cases we have to create an array list like this. Okay, we have to use angular brackets here, and we have to give like what type of objects it can accept. So if I say string here, okay, this is one thing. And see, once we gave it string, okay, not generally we have to give here also string. Okay, if you don't give it as a string here, that is also fine, because it depicts it gets the data types from here, what we have discussed, what we have declared already here. Okay, so if we don't give it here, then also it is fine. If you just give it only here in angular brackets that it accepts only strings, that is also fine. Okay, you don't need to give it here. Okay, but generally give it here also. Okay, now once we do this one, see this one list dot add of 3 is showing error. Okay, what error it is showing? It is saying that the method add, okay, add int comma string in the type array list of string is not applicable for the arguments int. What it is saying is, okay, so you have declared that it accepts only string, but you are trying to add an integer, so it is not possible to add this element. Do you understand until this point? Any questions?
It is clear for me, sir.
Yeah, fine. Okay, so now, okay, we have to remove this one, then it will be fine. Okay, so that is one thing. So the first one is called a raw array list, and the second one we have restricted that one to take only strings. Okay, array list with the different data types. Okay, fine. Yeah, so this is a raw array list that I have declared here, array list with different data types. Here we are adding integer value of 1 to the previous strings. This doesn't cause any problem, and it produces the result. But if we want to restrict the array list to accept only particular data type, we can do it the following way. Okay, we have to give angular brackets, and we have to mention the object, kind of objects, like that it will accept. Okay, now let me show you one more thing here. Okay, so we have seen about array list, and the same thing, you can easily convert it into a linked list like this. Okay, just in place of array list, use linked list and linked list. Okay, and you have to import linked list from java.util. Okay, so that's all, because the methods are same between array list and linked list, because they are implemented from the same interface list. Okay, so the methods will be same. It is just changing the name. The only thing is it will use a different algorithm in the background. It use arrays, and it use doubly linked lists. Okay, doubly list to store the values. Okay, that's the only difference. Okay, now let us see how to create an array list with integers. Okay, let me copy this one, paste this one. Okay, now okay, so I want to restrict this array list to accept only integers. How can I do it? How can I do this one?
In Angular brackets, we will put int.
Okay, let us see this one. So in the angular brackets, okay, let's put it as int. Okay, but what if you see this one, this is throwing an error here. Okay, what is the error here? The error is syntax error, insert dimensions to complete the reference type. So insert dimensions to complete the reference type. What it means is it accepts not the primitive data. It won't accept the primitive data types. It accepts only objects only here. See, string is an object here, so there is no issue here. Okay, if you see here, okay, string is an object. Okay, so it's not a problem here. But here, if you see, int is a primitive data type, but collections framework won't accept primitive data types. We should provide objects here. We should provide objects. That is why what Java has done is they have created, okay, an object for each and every primitive data type. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, since collections accept only let me show you. Okay, so the first one is byte, short, int, long, float, double, character, boolean. Okay, so these are the primitive data types. Okay, but collections won't accept these primitive data types. Okay, that's why Java has come up with something called wrapper classes. Okay, wrapper classes. Okay, what are these wrapper classes? These will give us the corresponding objects for these primitive data types. For example, for byte, the corresponding object is byte with capital B. For short, the corresponding object is short with capital S. For integer, it is integer with capital I. It is only int, but here it is integer. For long, it is long with capital L. For float, it is float with capital F. For double, it is double with capital D. Okay, and for character, it is character with capital C. Sorry, it's not. It's only char, right? It's not like character actually. Okay, it's char. Okay, it is character with capital C. For and again, this is Boolean, right, with small b, but here it is Boolean with capital B. Okay, these are called wrapper clauses which give the corresponding object, which give the objects for the corresponding primitive data types. Okay, and since these are the objects, again the collection framework accepts these objects. Okay, so if you see this one, this example in this one, so instead of like an int, we have to give integer. Okay, similarly here also we have to provide integer. Got it here? Are any questions so far?
It is clear for me.
Okay, fine. Okay, now let us add some integers here. List 1 dot add of 23. Okay, list 1 dot add of 32. Like this we can add integers. Okay, and we can print that integer array list, and we can do different operations on that one. Okay, if you see 323, 32, I'm printing and I'm doing the different, the size is 3, get the first element 3. So like this we are doing all the operations under this one. Okay, similarly if you want to use floats, okay, you have to use capital F float here. Similarly boolean, similar character, all those things. Okay, fine. So that is about how we can use the lists, how we can create lists, and how to create a raw array list, and how to insert elements, how to get elements from that array list, and also how to create an array list specific to some objects. Okay, okay. Now,
So,
yeah.
can you just repeat that wrapper class? What do you mean?
Okay, so yeah, let me show you this one. So this array list, any collection framework, they accept only objects only. Okay, they won't accept primitive data types. For example, I want to create an array list which accepts only integers. So what we will do generally, we have these primitive data types, right? So we will
Yeah.
the normal idea is we have to write it like this: array list of int which accepts only integers here. Okay,
Right.
but the thing is that collection framework accept only objects. It won't accept primitive data types. Okay, so that's why Java, what are the primitive data types we have? These are all the primitive data types we have: byte, short, int, long, float, double char, boolean. Okay, so that is why Java has developed uh, corresponding classes for these primitive data types. Okay, which give us the objects for these primitive data types, and they are called wrapper classes. So the corresponding wrapper classes for all these primitive data types are byte with capital B. For short, it is short with capital S. For int, it is integer with capital I. For long, it is long with capital L. For float, it is float with capital F. Like this, they have developed these different classes. These are called wrapper classes.
Okay, I understand now. Yeah.
Okay, so now what we can do, we can use the integer object here, which accepts only integers. Okay, okay. Now let us see the next one. Okay, creating a list from an array. Okay, so for example, let us see this one, array list example 4. Okay, so let us say I have an array. Okay, let us say I have an array. How do we define an array? Using data types and then square brackets and then some name, and then I can directly initialize this one by using floor brackets. So Rajesh, okay, Ganesh, Suresh. Okay, like this. Okay, I want to create an array list. Okay, from this array. Okay, I have a method called arrays dot as sorry arrays dot arrays dot as list here. Okay, we have a class called arrays class. Okay, and that one we have as list here, and then I will pass arr1. Okay, so this will create an array list. Okay, so for this one, what I will do is I have to store it like array list of string. Okay, list one, let us say. Okay, arrays dot as list. Okay, now add cache to array list. Okay, this one I'm converting this one to array list of string. So it is just telling you that okay, you need to cache this one to array list of string. Okay, so I have a method called like arrays dot as list method, which will convert this array to an array list. Okay, now if I print this one, system dot out dot println list one. Okay, and let me run this one, run as Java application. In a class cache exception, somewhere something cannot be cached to array list. Okay, as okay, something went wrong here. So array start as list of array one. Okay, which is correct. Oh, okay. So let us.
We have not imported, I think, some class.
What is that?
I think we have missed out some maybe import.
No,
Import.
it's already there. Like an array list is like already there. Let me try this one. Let me import list here. Import list. Okay, so let me run this one. Yeah. Okay. See here, like you can use arrays.list, arrays.asList to convert an array into a list, basically. Okay, this is a list. Okay, we cannot directly do it like as a array list or linked list, but we can do it like this. Okay, it basically gives you a list. Okay, so we can convert it any array to a list like this. Okay, but the problem here is if you convert an array like this using array list method, this is like constant fixed size array list. Okay, for example, if you want to try like list one dot add of let us say some other name, let's say again like Rajesh. Okay, you cannot add this one. Okay, syntax error, insert, okay, semicolon to complete. Okay, it is accepting system.out.println. Let me see. Let me run this one. See, unsupported operation exception. Even though like it is a list. Okay, generally if you create a list, what we can do, we can add as many elements to this, as many elements as we want, right? Okay, but here we are creating a list from an array. When we create a list from an array, this is basically a fixed size array list. That means here this is my first array and I have converted this into a list and I am trying to add new element to this one. Okay, then it is throwing me an error saying that it is unsupported operation exception because this is a fixed size array list. Okay, but if you want to convert this one to an array list which will accept any number of elements, okay, then what we have to do is we have to do it something like the new array list of string. Okay, new array list of string, and then in brackets put this one. Okay, now in brackets put this one, and okay, we have to import this array list and we have imported this one. Okay, so now we are good with this. Okay, now you can add more elements, any number of elements, because we are converting this fixed array list to fixed size list to an array list here. Now if I run this one, run as Java application, it shouldn't give you any error here. Okay, you
So
got it?
one question,
Yeah.
one question is there. Like, see, the difference between list and this list and a normal array is that normal array we can't add some um,
Yeah, arrays are of
like
fixed size. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what is the purpose of converting it into again to the list? Why don't we directly use list?
Okay, you can directly use list, okay? But the thing is that, let us say, if I directly use a list here, I'm creating like another list here, okay? And the another list is like let's say uh, list, okay, list of, sorry, list of string L2 is equal to new array list of string. Okay, if I create it like this, okay, what happens if I create it like this? Okay, I have to manually add like all these elements, like list of add is equal to, okay, Rajesh, okay, L2 dot add of, okay, something like this. I have to manually like add using this add step, like but if you want to make it easy, what you can do is you can directly use these elements in this array, which is nothing but you are creating an array list from here.
Okay, decreasing the line of codes actually.
Yeah, it is basically line of codes. You can create an array like this, and you can directly convert that using arrays dot as list. Okay, that will be much easier for you.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So it makes your life easy when you are writing the code. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now another thing is, if you see here, we have used an array list. Okay, instead of defining an array list here, okay, instead of defining an array list here, what I have done, I am directly using list here, right? I'm not using like array list, I'm using list. If you remember, in case of like inheritance, okay, we have a parent class here, and then we have created a child class. And when we are creating an object for a child class, what we have done, we have used the parent class reference, parent object 1 is equal to new child. This is what we have done. Do you remember this one? Okay. When,
I will remember it. Yeah.
yeah,
For reference, we are giving the parent name and
yeah. So when we have a parent class and a child class, when we are creating an object for the child class, we are using parent object 1 is equal to new child. Okay. That means we can give the parent class reference here when we are creating an object. Okay. So we can create something like child C1 is equal to new child. Okay, we can create parent, okay, p1 is equal to new parent. That means we are creating an object directly for child class, directly for parent class, and we can use a reference of the parent class when we are creating a child class object. Okay, but we cannot do something like child c1 is equal to new parent. We cannot create an object for a parent class, okay, referring to a child class. This one also we have discussed. Okay, that is why generally when we use inheritance concept, okay, how can we achieve this inheritance concept? We can use normal inheritance, okay, from class to another class, or we can use abstract classes, okay, or we can use interfaces. Okay, these three are all nothing but like inheritance only. So when we go for any of these three, generally we use the parent class reference or the interface reference. So here, if you see, this array list is derived from list, right? If you remember, like this picture, yeah, if you remember, okay, this picture, this array list is from list interface, okay, linked list. Similar, hash set is from set interface. Okay, and hash map or linked hash map, they are from map interface. So generally when we create an objects for any of these classes, okay, we will use the parent interface references. Okay, and this concept is to create dynamic polymorphism. We have seen dynamic polymorphism. Similarly, like when you are actually in Selenium, we have something called WebDriver interface. This is an interface. Okay, and when we create an object for a Chrome object, Chrome class, we'll use new Chrome WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay, this is what we use. Actually, this one is for Chrome browser, this object, but we have an interface here above this Chrome driver. So we use the interface name here while creating the driver object. Okay, the browser object, because we can easily change this one to different ones, like Edge browser or something like this. Okay, so we use the interface name generally. That is why here also I'm using this interface name. Okay. Okay. Let us go into the next example. So we have seen like all these things. And array array list we have seen. So yeah, so we how to restrict the types, creating a list from an array list we have seen. Okay. Now coming to iterating through an array list. Okay. How do we loop over an array list? Okay. Let me take this one. Okay. So I have created an array list. Okay. I have created an array list like this. Let's see one thing. There is okay. So iterating over an array. Okay, before this, like we have created a separate array like this, right? So instead of this, like what we can do is, let me show you this one. Let me copy this one, paste this one. Okay, let me comment this two, and let me copy this one, and I can put it here. Okay, so this way also arrays, we can create like in a separate array, and we can pass that array object to this array start as list, or you can pass directly these elements also. Okay, this is another way of like creating a list from an array. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let us say I have created an list here, and I would like to loop over this list and print each and every element. Okay, let me take out like all these elements. Normally, like how do we get each and every element of this one? System.out.println list one dot get of index, right? This is what like we have seen. So instead of going through like each and every elements like this, what I would like to do is I would like to loop over each and loop over this collection and print each and every element. Okay, so for that one, what I can do is I can use advanced for loop. Advanced for loop is one thing, or you can use a normal for loop. Let us say I'll create a normal for loop for this one. Okay, so for int I equals to 0, I is less than, okay, list 1 dot, what is the method that I have to use here for getting this entire,
Length,
no, that is for
length,
arrays. That
it
is
is
for
size.
arrays. Yeah, size, we have this size like in collections. Okay, size I plus plus. Okay, now I can use system.out.println. Okay, list 1 dot get of I. Okay, let me comment this once. Okay, I can use a normal for loop for this one. Okay, Rajesh Ganeshan. this one. Okay, so yeah, okay. Now instead of a normal for loop, I can use advanced for loop. Advanced for loop also we have discussed this one in arrays. So in advanced for loop, what we will have? Generally, we will have a for keyword, and then we have to mention the data type. What is the data type here? The data type is string str colon, and we have to, in arrays we give the array name. So here we will give the list name. Okay, so what happens in this one? Okay, so what happens in this one? Each and every element of this collection, it will come and sit in this str, and we can use that str system.out.println. Okay, str. Okay, let me comment this one. Okay, I can use an advanced for loop like this on collections. Okay, now if I run this one, okay, this is usually the same thing, Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. So we can use advanced for loop also. Okay, so there is something called iterate method for iterating over a collection. Okay, this is normal for loop and this is advanced for loop. Okay, there is something called iterate method. Okay, so what for iterate method, okay, using advanced for loop, we have seen it here. Okay, for iterate method, first of all we have to create an object for iterator. Okay, so for that one we have to do iterator itr equals to, okay, list one based on the list. Okay, okay, so this is the list. We have a method called iterator, so we can use this method. Okay, and we have to import iterator from java.util package. Okay, we have this iterate method in multiple packages, but we have to import it from java.util package. Okay, let me import this one. Okay, now I have imported. So I have created an iterator object on list1 interface. Okay, now we have something called two methods that we have in this iterator. They are like has next and next method. Okay, so I can say like, while, okay, itr dot has next. So what it means is, if this iterator has a next element, okay, system.out.println itr dot next, that means go to that next element. That's what we are saying here using this next method. Okay, now if I run this one, run as Java application, and it will print Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. Okay, so what we have to do, first we have to create an iterator object. So how do we create that one? Iterator, okay, iterator itr is equal to that list, whatever, like list or collection, whatever it is, list one dot, okay, we have to use iterator method. We have created an iterator object. So here this will have like, two methods. One is has next, sorry, has next method, okay, and also next method. So what it will check? It will check if it has a next element. Next element. Okay, if it has a next element, what does this next method do? It will move to the next element. Okay, so these are the two methods that we have. So we will use a loop here while this iterator itr dot has next. That means we are telling that, okay, go until it has a next element. So we'll use while itr dot has next. Then we are saying like, go to that next element. So itr dot next. And once we go to this next element, we are printing this one. Okay, system dot out dot println. That's what, like, we are using here to print that next element. Okay, so for collections we use especially this iterator method to loop over a collection. We can use for array list, you can use normal for loop and also advanced for loop. Okay, but for collections especially we use this iterator method to loop over a collection. Do you understand this one or any questions? Okay,
What is
fine.
why we are especially using this in the list method? Not like what is the purpose of using it?
This iterator method, like, we can use it, like, for all the collections, basically. For example, for loop, we can still use it, like, but we don't have this get method on sets. Okay, so you cannot use this for loop here. Okay, we can go with advanced for loop, or we can go with collections also. For collections, they have specifically developed, like, one more way of iterating over a collection. Okay,
Okay.
there is nothing like, you should use only iterator or you should use only advanced for loop, but for collections they have developed one more way, which is iterator.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Now let us see. Yeah, using iterator we have seen. Okay,
Oh, just
now,
one question, like
yeah.
like how you are selecting and putting all the things in a single comment. What is it? What you do? How are you doing that?
Okay, so for single comment, like, what you can do is, like, just select this entire thing. Okay, whatever, like, you would like to comment, just use control forward slash. Click on control button and use
Oh,
forward slash. Okay, it will
okay.
comment
Okay.
everything. For example, if
Okay.
you want to uncomment, like, just control again, control forward slash. That's all.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
similarly we have something called we have the statement, right? System.out.println. So for this one, for that one, the shortcut is sys out. Okay, and then use control and space. Control and space. Okay, the shortcut for this one is sys out. Okay, sys out and then control space.
Yeah.
Okay, that will give you this control system.out.println. And another thing is, let us say, let uncomment, like, all these things. Okay, let us say the indentation is not good here. Okay, let us say mine is something like this. Okay, something like this, the indentation is not good. Okay, so how you can make, like, the correct indentation is just control A to select everything, and then control A, which will select everything, and then control I means indentation. Okay, so
Okay.
control A and control A, these are, like, some shortcuts actually. Okay,
Okay.
okay, fine. Now we have seen this iterator. The next one is adding a list to another list. Okay, now let me go here, how we can add a list to another list. Okay, for example, control C, control V, array list 6. Okay, so let me take out this one. Okay, I have one array list here. Okay, let us say I have another array list here. Okay, which is list 2 here. Okay, which is list 2 here. And let us say I have something like Java. Okay, Selenium training, something like this. Okay, I have something like, now I would like to add this second list to, sorry, second list to this first list. If we want to add a single element, how do we add this one? List one dot add. That's what we use, right? A single element, we use add method. But if you want to add a list to another list, we have to use list one dot add all method. Add all method. Okay, this will take a collection here. So add all of list 2. That means we are adding this list to list 2 to list 1. So if I print this one, system.out.println list 1, okay, it will print run as Java application, and it is printing this whole list. It adds this list to this one, and then it is printing list 1. Okay, so we have to use, when we are adding a collection to another collection, okay, we have to use add all method. Okay, okay, fine. The next adding a list to another list. The next one is removing a list from another list. Okay, we have seen this method. Let me take like another collection. Okay, so if I want to remove, if I want to remove like Ganesh one element from this array list, what did we use? If we want to remove, we used a remove method, right? Remove index, give the index, and it will remove that one, right? That's what we have seen in the first example. For example, let us say I have something like Rajesh. Rajesh. Suresh. I have two lists here. Okay, let us say I have two lists here. Two lists. Okay, I would like to remove this list two elements from this list one. Okay, I would like to remove this list two elements from list one. That means all these common elements will be removed. Okay, let us say I have Ganesh, Rajesh, Suresh. Okay, let us say let's give like some more elements like Subbu. Okay, okay, here let's say Venkat. Okay, so I have two lists here like this. I would like to remove like all these elements from this first list. That means this is a collection again. Okay, this is a collection. Second one is a collection. Okay, if I want to remove a single method, single element, then I use remove method. But if I want to remove a list, okay, then I have to use a remove all method. Remove all list two. Okay, that means I want to remove all the common. So it will remove what is Rajesh is there, yes. So it will remove this one. Suresh is there, yes. It will remove this one. Venkat is there, Venkat is not there. So now I should be left with Ganesh and Subbu. Okay. Okay. Now run as Java application. Okay, so I have removed this one, but I haven't printed this one, right? System.out.println list one. Let me print like the same thing before removing this list also. Okay. Okay, let me run this one, run as Java application. Okay, so initially the list was Rajesh, Ganesh, Suresh, and Subbu. And once we remove this second list from the first list, it is Ganesh and Subbu. That's what it is left. So do you understand this one or any questions here? For adding a list to another list, we use add all method. Let me ask you this one. Sorry. I have created a list. How can I add an element to that list?
Hmm.
What method I use to add an element to that list?
Add method, dot add method.
Yeah, dot add method. Okay. Well, what is the method that I use to remove an element from that list?
For remove, dot remove only.
Yeah, dot remove method. What is the method that I have to use for adding a collection to another collection, for adding a list to another list?
Uh, for that you add all method.
Add all method. So for removing a list from another list?
That is uh, remove all method, I guess.
Yeah, remove all method we have to use. Okay, fine. Now let us say I have these two things. Okay, now let me create like another one. Okay, now I would like to retain the common elements between these two. The common elements. What are the common elements that we have? We have Rajesh, and if I remove like this list from here, like only the remaining elements will be left. But I would like to retain only the common elements between these two. Okay, what are the common elements? Rajesh, Rajesh, and Suresh, and Suresh. For that one, we have to use retain all. This is the method we have. If we use this retain all, it retains the common element. So if I run this one now, okay, run as Java application, okay, Rajesh and Suresh. These are the common elements. So if we use the retain all method between two lists, okay, it will retain the common elements. Okay, these are like the different methods that we have. Okay, so removing a list from another list we have seen. Okay, we have seen this retain all method to retain the common elements. Okay, now coming here, which is list of lists. Okay, so if you remember, like in arrays we have seen. Second, yeah. Okay, so in arrays, if you remember, we have seen multi-dimensional arrays, right? So what is a multi-dimensional array? What is a multi-dimensional array?
Array under array.
Yeah, so it is an array of arrays.
Yeah.
Okay, it contains a parent array, and within that array we will have multiple arrays. That is a multi-dimensional array. Similarly, in collections also for lists we can have list of lists. Okay, so how do we create a list of lists? Basically, if you want to create a list of strings, we'll use this one, right? For creating a list of lists, okay, we have to use list. This is a list, okay, creating or containing another list. But we have to again specify what does this internal list contain. These internal lists contain strings again. Okay, this is what we have to do. Okay, now we will create new array list of, let us not define it here. Okay, so we have to say that, okay, this is an array list containing, okay, another list of string. Okay, something went wrong here. So what is the error here? Let us see this error. Oh, okay, so we have to use brackets here. Okay, so what we are saying, okay, I'm creating a list, okay, that contains other lists. Okay, what is this other list contain? They basically contain strings. Okay, equals to, I'm giving a name to this one, equals to new array list of string. That means, let me show you this one here. Okay, so this is a normal list that we have seen, which contains some strings Rajesh, okay, Ganesh, like this, right? This is what we have seen so far. But what I would like to do is I would like to create a list of lists which contains other lists. Okay, this is one list which contains, okay, some strings Rajesh, Ganesh, like this, and this list contains other strings Java, okay, Selenium, like this. So what is this one? This is one list. This is another list. This whole thing is a list. Okay, so it is a list of individual lists. Okay, so in order to create this one, so I'm saying that I want to create a list basically which contains other lists. What are these other lists? They contain strings. So list of string is equal to list one is equal to new array list of string. Okay, this is how you can create a list of lists. So for this one, to add elements to this array, to this list of lists, what we have to do? First, we have to create this individual lists. Okay, so in this list one, a list of lists. Okay, LOL. Now I'm creating normal list. Okay, list one equals to new array list of string. Okay, in this one, okay, I'll use arrays dot as list of, okay, Rajesh, Ganesh, something, some name, some give. Okay, this is one of my lists. Now I'm creating another list of strings here, which is okay, list 2 here. This is list 2, and here what I'm doing it like okay, Java Selenium training. Okay, now I have created individual list. Now I have to create a list of lists, LOL. So what I can do, I can say LOL dot add of first list I am adding, list 1. Okay, similarly I'm going to LOL dot add of list 2. Okay, so I have created a list of lists here. So in order to create this list of lists, first I have to have individual lists. So I have created individual lists, and these individual lists I have added it to this list of lists. Okay, so I have created these individual lists here, list 1, list 2, and I am adding this to this list of lists LOL. So LOL dot add this one. Okay, so if I print this one, system dot out dot println LOL. Okay, let me print like one by one. System dot out dot println list 1. Okay, and then system dot out dot println list 2, and then finally this list of lists. If I run this one now, run as Java application, and so this is my first list I have created. This is my second list I have created. Now I have added this individual list to this list of lists. So this is my list of lists. Rajesh, Ganesh, Suresh, Java, Selenium, training. Okay, so this is how you can create a list of lists. Any questions on this one?
Like if you want, we don't want this large brackets to be square brackets to remove from the system, or is there any way?
Sorry, I didn't get it. So if you don't want this square brackets, then you have to print them. You have to loop. Okay, so this is how it prints when you print a list. Basically, it prints square brackets. That is from Java itself. If you don't want to print them, then you have to use like you have to iterate over this list, and you have to get like each and every individual element.
Okay.
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 Okay. Fine. Now let us see like how to. Okay, now I have a list of lists like this. Okay, I would like to access this Ganesh element, okay, from this list of lists. How can I access this one? Any idea? I would like to access this Ganesh. So for that one, first I have what I have to do, I have to, this is a list of lists, right? So first I have to get this first list. I have to get this
Which
first
is
list. Okay.
same similar 0, 1, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So system dot out println LOL dot get of what is the index for this first list? It is 0, right? So I use 0. So what it will get me? Now it will get me and prints the first list here. Let me run this one. Okay, let me comment like all these things. Or let me comment only the first things. Let me leave this one. So if I run this one, run as Java application, so it will get me the first list here in this list of list, get of 0. Okay, but again this is another list. Okay, from this one I would like to get this Ganesh. So what I have to do, I have to use another get method, get of, and what is the index for this one Ganesh? It is 1. Okay, so if I use this one, run as Java application, and it will print me the second element. Okay, now tell me how I have to how I can get this training from this list of lists.
Get 1, 3 or 1, 2. Get 1,
Yeah,
get 2.
yeah, get 1 dot get 2. Okay, so system dot out dot println. Okay, system dot out dot println LOL dot get of 1. So it will give me the second list. In this one, I would like to get the third element, which is index 2. So get of Okay, if I run this one, run as Java application, and it will give me training. So this is how you can create a list of lists. Okay, okay. Now,
So I have a question, like
yeah,
up to what dimension we can go to the list, like list of list, and again we want to put another list into it, then it
you
is
can
also possible.
you can add like as many as you want,
Oh, okay, okay, got it.
and until the heap memory exhausts. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this is how we can create. Okay, now let me list of lists we have seen. Okay, yeah. Now sorting a list. Okay, so before sorting the list, let me show you just one more thing. So earlier we have seen this one linked list, right? Control C. Okay, let me show you this one here itself. So linked list, we have yeah, no, sorry, not here. Yeah, fine. So sorting a list. How do we sort a list? Okay, for example, I have something like, okay, let me remove this one. Okay, I have an array list. I have an array list which stores it in this order: Rajesh, Ganesh, and Suresh. System.out.println list one. And if I run this one, run as Java application, okay, it will print Rajesh, Ganesh. But I want to sort this one in the natural sorting order. So for that one, I have something called collections.sort. Okay, so collections.sort of list one. Okay, I can use this one, collections.sort. Okay, now if I print this one, okay, if I print this one, okay, run as Java application, okay, it will print it in this sorting order, natural sorting order, ascending order: Ganesh, Rajesh, and Suresh. Okay, and we have something for the same collection. I can also provide, okay, this is for an ascending order. Okay, if I want to provide if I want to sort it in the reverse ordering, I mean descending order. Okay, so for that one also, this collections dot sort method, it takes a second parameter. Okay, that second parameter is, okay, we have to remember this one, collections dot reverse order. Okay, so this takes a second one called collections dot reverse order. Okay, if I print this one, okay, now it will be printed in the reverse order: Suresh, Rajesh, and Ganesh. Run as Java application. So Suresh, Rajesh, and Ganesh. So you can use collections dot sort method to sort a list. Okay, if you use only one parameter list one, it will be sorted in the ascending order. If you use two parameters list one and collections dot reverse order, it will it will print it in the, it will sort it in the reverse order, that means descending order. Okay, so this is one thing that you can use. Okay, now, okay, we have seen this linked list also. Just change that array list to linked list and you'll be good. Okay, you can use the same methods that we have used earlier. Okay, now, okay, we have seen all these things. Okay, now coming to set. Okay, what is a set basically? What is a set?
Where we can have an we can't have the duplicate entries of an objects.
Yeah, okay, so set examples. New class, set example one. I'm creating a new class under this one. So public static void main string args. Okay, set example one. Okay, in this example, okay, okay. So for creating a set, basically what we will do is we will use the interface name set. and again I want to create a set with strings. Okay, so set of strings s1 is equal to new. I want to create an hash set of string. Okay, so set is the interface. Okay, so I'm importing this from java.util, and then I'm importing this hash set also. Okay, and this is a small t. Okay, new hash set of string. That means I'm creating a set that accepts only string values. So now I can use s1 dot add of, okay, let us say java. Okay, s1 dot add of selenium. Okay, s1 dot add of training. Okay, so I have added like 3 elements to this set. Now let me print this set s1. Okay, if I run this one, run as, okay, so it is training java and selenium. If you see this one, we have added these elements java, selenium and training, but if you see the order here, training java and selenium. So sets here, hash set we have created in a hash set. So hash set won't maintain the order. We have seen this one earlier, right? We have discussed this one. Hash set won't maintain the order. That's why it is not maintaining this order of insertion java, selenium and training. Instead of that one, it gave it like training java and selenium. Okay, and what is the main difference between list and set? Sets,
We can't have duplicates.
yeah, we can't, sets won't allow duplicates. So for example, if I'm trying to add of, again I'm adding like java. Okay, so sets should not accept duplicates. So if you run this one, okay, if you run this one, okay, see here you are seeing only 3 elements, even though you are adding 4 elements here, because the fourth element is a duplicate element of this first element. It is not accepting that element. So sets won't accept duplicate elements. Okay, and moreover, this is an hash set. So hash set won't maintain order. For example, if you use like linked hash set, okay, linked hash set maintains the order, right? That's what we have discussed earlier. So if I use linked hash set, okay, run as Java application. So Java Selenium training, Java Selenium training. So linked hash set maintains order, but again, since this is a set, it won't accept the duplicate. So what is the main difference between lists and sets? Lists accept duplicates, sets won't accept duplicates. Okay, lists maintain the order of insertion. Sets may maintain or may not maintain the order of insertion. That is again based on the class that we use. If we use hash set, it won't maintain the order. If you use linked hash set, it maintains the order. Okay, you got it here? You got the point here?
Yes, yes, Abu.
Okay, and we have discussed about tree set, right? What is a tree set? Tree set, natural
We'll
sorting
have,
order,
yeah, natural sorting,
not
ascending
natural.
orders.
Yeah, for example, this Java, Selenium and training. Instead of this one, let me put this one first, because they are already in the natural sorting order, Java, Selenium. So first I have added like training. Let me have this normal one, which is hash set. Okay, if I run this one, okay. Okay, again, let me put this selenium here. Okay, this is hash set. Okay, now if I run this one, okay, so if I run this one, it won't maintain this order of insertion. So it is training selenium Java. It is training Java selenium. For example, if I use a linked hash set, okay, linked hash set, now it maintains this order. Okay, so it is training Selenium on Java. If I use a tree set, it is natural sorting order. Okay, tree set. Okay, it is a natural sorting order. It will maintain. So if I run this one, run as Java application. Okay, Java, Selenium, and training. So this is a natural sorting order. Okay, so these are the three sets that we have seen. Okay. Okay, how to declare a hash set we have seen. Adding check if the hash set is empty. Okay, we'll see how to check if okay. Here we have declared a hash set. Here we have declared a hash set. Okay, and here, but I want to check like if this hash set is empty. Okay, so I can use s1 dot is empty method to check if a hash set is empty. So I'll say system dot out dot println is the set empty. Okay, this is what like I can use. I can use is empty method. Okay, so here I just created and I haven't added any elements yet. So it will give me, it will tell me the true. It will give me true because the hash set is empty. But if I use the same thing after this one, okay, if I use the same thing after this one, then it will tell me that it is false because I have already added some elements. So I can use is empty method to check if a set is empty. Adding elements, we can use add method to add elements. Adding duplicate elements to the set and check if it allows duplicate elements. We have seen this one. Set won't allow duplicate elements. It's not allowing. Check if a set allows null value. Okay, let us see if this set allows null value. So I'm adding like s1 dot add. Okay, so this is a null value that I'm adding. Okay, it's a null value that I'm adding. Okay, so now if I run this one, run as Java application and see it is allowing null value, sets allow null value. But again, if the same null value, I try to add it one more time, okay, it won't allow, okay, because it won't allow duplicate elements basically. So it will accept only one null value. Okay, so we have seen this one. Check the size of the hash set. Okay, let me check. We can use the size method here. So s1 dot size. So I can say size is, okay, the size of the hash set we can find it out using size method. So size is 4. So that means it contains like 4 elements. Okay, and print the values using for each loop. Okay, advanced for loop like we can use to print the elements of the array. So for, okay, what is the type of this one? Okay, let me take out like these adding null values. Okay, so I can use like for what is the type of the set? It is string. For string str1 colon, okay, and the set is s1. So I can say system dot out dot println str1. So if I run this one now, run as Java application, and I can print training Java and Selenium. Okay, so we can use advanced for loop to print out all the elements. Okay, now print the values using iterator. So again, we can use iterator here. So I will create an iterator object, iterator itr, okay, equals to s1 dot iterator method. Okay, now I can use while I have to import this iterator method, iterator. So import iterator from java.util. Okay, while itr dot has next. That means if it is until this set has next elements, then get that next element, itr dot next. Okay, so let me comment this one, this for loop. Okay, now if I run this one, run as Java application, so it gives me training Java and Selenium. Okay, okay. Removing an element by value. So if I want to remove an element by value, okay, I can use remove method. Okay, dot remove, and the value I can give, or I can also give an index to remove this one. Just practice this one. Okay, remove method. Okay, and the next one that we have is, okay, so the next one, that we can use, check this list to see if it contains a particular element. Okay, how we can do it is, we can use advanced for loop, and yeah, or like we can use contains method directly. Contains method to check if the list or the set has a particular element. Okay, any questions on lists and sets so far? Lists and sets. Okay, any questions? Okay, fine. Am I audible? Yes.
Yeah, you are audible. No
Okay.
questions.
Okay, fine. Now coming to maps. Okay, so what is a map basically? Map works on key value pairs. Okay, so we'll see an example, like, for this hash map. Hash map stores the data in key value pairs. It implements the map interface. Okay, to know the value of a map, one must know the key for it. It uses a technique called hashing internally. Okay, now let us see how to declare a hash map. Okay, let me go here and let me uh, create a package. Okay, and which is called map examples. Okay, under this, and let me create a class hash map example one. Okay, now for creating a hash map, okay, we'll use something like, okay, map, okay, map, and give some name, map1 equals to new hash map. Okay, but let me import map, and let me also import hash map. Okay, but how do we restrict this one? Okay, we'll use angular brackets, and within this angular brackets, what we have to do, we have to give the type. Okay, the type is, okay, so it contains the key value pairs, so we have to give the types for both key and value it holds. Okay, so the first one is, let us say, yeah, it is index, okay, or some number, so I'll use integer. Okay, the second one is a string, so I will declare, okay, the first key value is an integer, and the actual value is a string. Okay, so I can do it like this. Okay, that means key and value. For example, I am using, now let's say I have created a map. I would like to add some elements to it. Okay, I don't have we don't have any add method for maps, but we have something called put method. Okay, so use put. Okay, so I would like to add, like, the key is, since it is an integer, I am using one for that one, and the second actual value is Java. Okay, so I have added an element to this one. Similarly, I will add the next elements, 2 and Selenium. Okay, similarly 3 and trial. Okay, like this I can add different elements to this one. Okay, So if I print this one, system.out.println map1. And if I run this one, run as Java application, and I can see 1 is equal to Java, 2 is equal to Selenium, 3 is equal to training. Okay, this is how I can add elements to a map using keys and value pairs. Okay, here if you see, 1 is the key and Java is the value, 2 is the key, Selenium is the value, like this. Okay, okay. Now I want to get like each and every element, the value of or each and every element of this map. How do I get this one? Using get method, and I have to use the key. So map one dot get, and if you see, it takes key as the parameter. So get of 1. Okay. Now I'll get the value corresponding to this key 1. Okay. So I'm printing this one, system.out.println, system.out.println, and I'm printing the value for that one. So if I run this one, run as Java application. Okay, so it is Java I'm getting, because I'm using this key 1 and I'm getting that value. So for key 1, the value is Java. Similarly, I can get the other values like get of 2 and get of 3. Okay, if I run this one, run as Java application, I am getting Java, Selenium, and training. Okay, and for example, if I put this one at the beginning, okay, let me run this one, because hash map won't maintain order. So first I am inserting the key as 3 and it is training. But if you see here, it is coming as third value. That means hash map won't maintain order. So for maintaining the order of insertion, we have something called list uh, sorry, not linked hash map, right? Linked hash map. Okay, so if I first let me import this one, import linked hash map. Okay, this maintains the order, so it maintains 3 1 2. This order it has to maintain. If I run this one, run as Java application. Okay, 3 equals to training, 1 equals to Java, 2 is equal to Selenium. So it is maintaining the order. So if I want to create like in the natural sorting order, I can create a tree hash map. Okay, so if I use this one, sorry, tree map, not tree hash map, it is tree map, just tree map. Okay, run as Java application. Okay, exception in main, unresolved compilations. Okay, sorry, I have to import this one first, right? This tree map, I haven't imported this one, so let me import this one. Okay, now if I run this one, run as Java application. Okay, and it is showing in the natural ascending order for the keys. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, so this is how we can use maps. Okay, let me convert this one back to new hash map. Okay, so we have seen that one, and printing a map we have seen. Check if a map contains a key. Okay, we will see this one. Get a map using a key. We have seen this one. Use get method and give the index number. Check to see if a map accepts duplicate key value pairs. Okay, let us see this one first. Duplicate key value pairs. Okay, for example, here I'm putting it something like, okay, this is the 4th key I'm giving training. Okay, so what happens here? Okay, it accepts these duplicate values because the key is different. Basically key is different. So if I run this one now, okay, run as Java application, and you can see that it is printing 4 is equal to training because the key is different. Okay, it accepts duplicate values. Okay, for example, if I change this one to 2, if I change this one to 2, I have the first element for key 1, it is Java. Key 2, it is Selenium. Again, for key 2, it is training. What happens in this case? It will replace this old value with this new value. So if I run this one now, okay, see, 1 is equal to Java, 2 is equal to training, 3 is equal to training, because this second value Selenium is replaced by again the second value training. That's why we are seeing 2 is equal to training, because keys cannot be duplicated in maps. Okay, always keys will be constant, they cannot be duplicated, but values can be duplicated. Okay, so the next one is remove a key pair using a key. So for removing, like something we can use, okay, map one dot remove, and we have to give the key. So we have this remove method, and I am giving 2. That means I have added, like training Java Selenium training. So it is like a Java 2 is training and 3 is training. So I'm removing the second one, so it has to go away from this list, from this map. So if I run this one, I run as Java application. Okay, so now it contains only Java and 3 training, because the second one is removed. The value related to this key 2 is removed. Okay, so we can use remove method. Check if a map contains a value. Okay, let us see, like these some okay, yeah, we can use is empty method to check if a map is empty. Just try this one. Okay, now I have put, like some values in this one. Okay, so we have, like contains key method to check if a key is there or not. Just try this one. Okay, and hm.get what are the getting a value using removing a key value pair. We have seen this remove method. Okay, and then if a map contains a particular value, so we have contains value, contains key and contains value methods to check if a map contains a particular key or a particular value. Okay, we can remove the entire map using this clear method. Okay, just try this one also. Okay, so any questions here? Or like, do you guys understand this one, or any question? Just practice this, like different methods. That's all. Okay.
Subbu, can you also share those programs also? Like, it will be really helpful.
What is that one?
The programs you are creating on the clips, no? That program, can you share like
Yeah. Okay. And we have it like anywhere in the document. Okay. You can see this document, but like I will share you, like those programs also. Okay. I
okay,
have this
okay,
one, like I have created a, like a separate one. I'll upload it to what is that? I'll upload this one to GitHub. So from there, like you can download this one. Let me see this.
okay.
My site test Selenium BDD Selenium project Selenium training test project. This one. Yeah, under Java training, like I have, like all these things. Okay, I'll share this one. Collections framework. Yeah. Okay. But let me have this one in the documents anyhow. Okay, everything is explained in the document. So if you go through this program, you'll be able to understand.
Okay.
Okay, but just
Okay.
practice, like all these things, because collections is an important one. People ask a lot of questions in the collections, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
So whatever things that you have covered now, this will be the mostly questions, right?
99% this is what you get.
Okay.
99%. I'm telling you, like if you prepare this and if you remember the diagram, and if you prepare, like what are those different interfaces are, like list sets, maps, what is the difference between them, what are the different lists that we have, and what are the different sets that we have, what are the different maps that we have, what are the different operations that we can do in each of these list sets and collection. 99% you will get, it won't go outside of this one.
Okay.
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 Fine. Now let us see a map of maps. What is a map of map? That means it is just like again multi-dimensional arrays which contains an array of arrays. It is a map of maps. That means it contains multiple maps within one map. Okay, so now let us say let me see this one. Let me create a new example here. Control C, Control V. Map of maps. Okay, let me see. Look how this one. Okay, fine. Let me show. Okay, what is a map of map? Basically, it contains a map which contains other maps. Okay, so basically, it is a key value pairs that we have to use. So the first thing is a string I am using. Okay, string I am using, and the second one is a map again. So what does this map contains? This map contains again string comma string. Okay, so this is a map basically, but what does it contain? It contains the key as string and the value as another map. Value is another map. Okay, so map of maps. So let's say MOM, map of maps, and then I'll say new hash map of, okay, string comma, it is another map again, string comma string. Okay, so I have created a map of maps. For example, this map contains, okay, all the employee details. Okay, let us say I'm saying this one as I'm creating a map, another map here which contains like a string comma string. Okay, map 1 equals to new hash map, okay, of string comma string. Okay, this is one map like I have created. So now I'll say map 1 dot add, okay, add of name. Okay, the employee name I'm adding it as Rajesh. Sorry, this is not add method, we have to use put method here in maps. Okay, okay, and then the next one is I'm putting like something is, okay, employee number, employee number. So for Rajesh, the employee number is, let's say, 111. Okay, this is employee number. Okay, map 1 dot put of, let's say the next one is role. Okay, and the role is let us say manager, something. Okay, so I have to put a semicolon. Okay, now I have created one map. Similarly, let me create like another map here, and this another map is map 2 I'm creating, and the name is, let's say, Ganesh. Okay, the employee ID, employee number is 1112, let's say. Okay, he's a developer, something. Okay, so I have created two maps here. Okay, with employee details. Now I want to create a map of maps using this employee details. So I'll say MOM dot put. Okay, so first one is I have to give a string. Okay, so the string name is, I'll say employee one, and I'm adding the first employee to this one. Okay, similarly I'll say employee 2, and I'm adding the second employee to this one. So this is a map of maps. So if I print this one now, see, as system.out.println MOM, and if I run this as a Java application, see, this is employee, oh, sorry, this is employee 2 map
Actually,
2.
you have map one only you have given in the second. Yeah, map two, one dot put you have given. Yeah, above that.
Oh, yeah. So you're right. So this should be map 2. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so I'm adding these values to this map to Ganesh. So if I run this one now, okay, run as Java application and see the employee 2 details. I have it like role as developer, name as Ganesh, employee number as 112. Similarly, employee 1, I have role as manager, okay, and the name as Rajesh, employee number as 111. So this is a string basically, and this is a map. And like this outer map contains like a map of maps. Okay, this is how we can create a map of maps. Now in a map, okay, did we see the get method in this one? Yeah, get method we have seen, right? We have to give the key value here. So in this map of maps, for example, I want to get this Rajesh value from here. So how to get? First, I have to get this map. Okay, this map using this key. Okay, so I'll say system.out.println. Okay, system.out.println mom dot get of, okay, employee 1. Okay, so now if I use mom dot get of employee 1, so I have to use it in strings double quotes. Okay, then it will give me this map. Okay, now if I run this one, run as Java application. Okay, see, I got this second this map. The role is equal to manager, name is equal to Rajesh, and employee number is equal to 111. Okay, so now if I use again, since this is a map, I can use get method again, get of name. Okay, this is what, like, and this is how I can get the individual elements of this map. So now I'm getting Rajesh. Got it? How to access
Yeah.
the values from a map of map. First, we have to get the individual map using this key, and then use again get method and use the internal keys again to get the individual values. Okay, so this is
The
our,
question is,
yeah.
yeah, can a single value in a map, when a single key in a map can have multiple values also?
No, you cannot. You cannot have like
Okay.
multiple values. That's what like now see, this is just a key value pair. How can you have like multiple values? Everything that you put it like there, it will be like a single value for that particular key. If you use that
Oh,
key again, basically that old value will be replaced.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right.
this is all about collections. Okay. Just prepare this one. 99% of the interview questions, they come only from this one. Okay. Okay. Just practice like all these examples. Okay, now let's get into interview questions. We have discussed like almost everything in this one. Okay, so what is a collection framework? Collection framework is a collection of set of interfaces and classes. Okay, Java collection framework. We have discussed this one, right? What is a collection framework? So just go through that document and you'll get it. What is a collection? Basically, collection is a container which contains a group of objects. Basically, so collection means it's a group of objects. Collection framework means it's a collection set of different interfaces and classes, and the classes implemented from them. Okay, explain about collection interface in Java. Collection is a fundamental and root interface in collections. Okay, collection interface means like this uh, we have like different interfaces implemented extended from this one, which are like list, set, and queue. Okay, and we have another interface which is map. Even though it won't extend to collection interface, it is still under collections framework. So whatever like like you can explain like all those things under this collection interface. Okay, so we have different methods like add, remove, add all, remove all, is empty, and all those things. What are the basic interfaces of collections framework? What are the basic interfaces? We have the root interface is iterable, and then we have collection, and then list, set, and queue, and then we have a map interface also under collections framework, even though it is not extending to collection interface. Okay, why map interface doesn't extend collection interface? Maps are not collections even though they belong to the collections framework. Maps provide functionality based on the key value pairs. Collections are a group of elements. The way maps and collections work is different, so map interface doesn't extend collection interface. Okay, what is iterable? Iterable is an interface which is implemented by collection interface, which is extended. Implemented means here in this sense, like it is extended. It provides a method called iterator, which is used to iterate over a collection. Basically, this interface, iterable interface, contains a method called iterator, okay, which is used to iterate over a collection. What are the different ways to iterate over a list? We can use iterator or advanced for loop, and in case of lists we can also use a normal for loop. List the interfaces which extend collection interface. List, set, and queue, we have seen this one. List some of the implementations of list interface: array list, vector list, array list, linked list, vector, stack. Okay, explain list interface. Okay, just what is a list interface? If somebody asks you, let me explain list interface. List is an interface in collection framework. Okay, and it is a collection of objects. It maintains the order and it also allows duplicates. Okay, some of the classes that are implemented from this list interface are array list, linked list, vector, stack, and we have like different methods for accessing this list, like add method to add elements to the list, get method to get elements from the list, remove method to remove an element from the list. Like this we have different methods. So that's how like you can explain about list. Okay, explain methods specific to list interface. So we have seen all these methods: add method, get method, remove method, add all method. Okay, and we have like something called like set method also. Just try this one: add method, remove method, index of method, to find out like what is the index of a particular element. Okay, and iterator method we have, list. So these are the all the different methods, okay, that we have on a list. Explain about array list. Okay, array list is a ordered collection which implements list interface. We use array list mainly when we need faster access and fast iteration of the elements in the list. We can insert nulls into array list. Array list is nothing but a growable array. Okay, okay. Now faster and easier access. Yeah, so you can just go through this. We have discussed like all these things. Difference between array and array list. Array accepts only similar type of elements, but array list can accept different types of objects, and we can restrict array list also to accept only same type of list. Array is basically it's a fixed size. Array list is not a fixed size one. We can add as many elements as we want, and also we can remove the elements, and we can decrease the size. Okay, okay, and using arrays we can store like primitive data types, but using array list we can store only objects. Okay, and yeah, while creating the array we have to know the size of the array, but while creating an array list we don't need to know the size. Okay, arrays are static, array list is dynamic. We can store objects and primitives as well, primitive data types as well, but in array list we can store only objects. we have to manually write logic for inserting and removing elements for just a method call which will add remove elements. Arrays are faster. Array list is little bit slower. Okay, array list is implemented using arrays only. Okay, so explain about sets. So we have seen this one. Implementations of set interface, hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. We have seen these three things. Explain about map interface. Map is an association of key value pairs. We have seen these different implementations also, like hash map, and not hash table, but linked hash map. We have seen. Not don't worry about this hash table. Like there are multiple implementations actually. So just use like linked hash and train. Okay, so these are all the questions that we have. Okay, so we have discussed all these questions like in our in the previous one also. Okay, if you prepare these ones, that's all. Collections is an important one. Mostly you'll get like most of the questions from the collections framework, and if you prepare just these ones, 99% of the questions you will get only from this, not out of this. Okay, so any questions on this one? Okay, fine. Then we'll meet tomorrow, and tomorrow we will see the next topics, which are, what are they? We have exceptions is we'll see this, they're like arrays and collections class. They're it's better if you know them. We have already seen collections dot sort method, which is from this collections class. Okay, arrays dot sort method. Okay, so those things we have already seen, but we will see them in the end. Okay, they're not from the interview perspective, they won't ask you any questions on these things specifically, but if you know them, they may be useful for you when you are actually working on a project. So we'll see them. So the next important one is exceptions and file operations. So we'll try to cover these two things tomorrow. Okay, what are exceptions and what are the different file operations that we have. Okay. Okay, fine. Any questions, guys? If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, yeah, fine then. I will meet tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the class.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Subbu.
Thank you.